Hello, everybody. Welcome to my room. This is Dr. Rao. So, as we wait for people to come in, let me start my intro of who I am, what I do, and why I'm here. My name is Hanumanta Rao Kulusu, actually. I was born and raised in India and got my MBBS degree there. And right after that, I came here in 1981 and did my residency in geriatric medicine and was in long-term care practice for a while, for a couple of New York to do my uh, internal medicine residency in 92, 93. Then I came to a couple of years in the emergency room. I worked as an attending physician. And then I came here in 95 end. And then I started medical practice, and built my own clinic in 97. And I practiced up until 2019 in that my own building. Then I had a chance to sell it. Then I started a small practice in the Illinois. And in 2020, I started this online company because my shift to wellness was complete by the time. And I wanted to bring in modern medicine and ancient wisdom fusion care that is based on that fusion to many people, because I was already working as a stress manager reduction, or just helping people to be not be crippled by stress and burnout. Actually, it started in 2008 when, hi, Edison, come on up. So as I as I became more, my friend Anderson, he's here. I invited him. It's up to him. You can come up or you can listen, whatever you wish. Hi Anderson, how are you? So 2008, that's when I really did the stress reduction classes to the EMR implementation team. I happen to be the lead on the physician advisory team. There is a political lead and there's a technical lead. Because I'm kind of novice about going after the computers, and you can call me a computer nerd. Not knowing much of the thing, but I was really important. I wanted to learn about computers and all that, and I saw the possibility of lot of benefit for the patients when if you digitalize our documentation. And so I was gung-ho on that. But whereas I showed enthusiasm, my colleagues were really furious because they didn't want to change. So I had to really do some classes for the nurses who are really helping us to implement the program, because they were stressed out with the physicians, right? So I started this stress management for excessive tension. I called it SMET, S-M-E-T. And 3 or 4 times we did full auditorium in the hospital. It's a huge hospital, so a lot of people are there. And then we introduced some wellness measures like, letting them walk and record it. And we just mark the corridors, half mile, 2 miles, like that. Right? Anybody does 10 miles on the pedometer, we supply it and give it to us. We give them a massage ticket. And we need a wellness a meeting. That committee has really worked on the nutrition, exercise, and all that, right? Then this course where I gave people to actually do some physical exercise every day. And that took on, and I also had a lot of colleagues calling me privately and asking me about problems with administration, contracts, and relation problem with their colleagues or nurses. All those things used to come, and more like a friend, Then I thought of this name, Be a Pal. So I'm being a pal to everybody. Why don't I name my company like that? So in 2020, right after I sold my big clinic in 2019, I kind of started this online wellness company, which is called Be a Pal. Actually, each letter has a significance there. If you want to read all of them, go to my website, bapal.net, and all these, each letter is kind of, you know, uh, explained in detail, right? Anyway, that's something, my craziness, whatever. You can go and read it. That's fine. Now, what we're doing in this series is almost we have been doing for about 1 week, I think. We have reached today to the mental, real aspect of it, how ancient wisdom can help you, and the positive psychology can reinforce that. So we were talking about several aspects of mental health, and we have come to the stage of mind management now. So we will do that today and tomorrow because it's such a huge subject. And usually people join me a little later into the broadcast, which is okay. There are already people on the Wisdom app, and then there are people on the LinkedIn and YouTube. What are the channels I do it on there, right? So uh, we kind of wanted to discuss this because we means me and my some of the friends that asked me about how not to be influenced by religion, not to adopt any particular religion. That means they don't have to leave particular Jewishness or Christianity or anything like that, but then understand the wisdom of all the religions. That's where we were kind of highlights. So we were kind of paying attention to that. So I am more like I don't practice a religion as such, but spirituality is something we all really we do have within us, right? So very early in 1980s, when I was exploring these things, I was really influenced by some of the talks between scientists and the sages. And many of them don't really buy the claims of the religion. And also, they could see the bias with which they were occupying. And the main thing is, they are dividing us. And as human beings, we are all one tribe. I'm sold on that. Being a citizen of the world is something appeals to me rather than belonging to a certain sectarian, like even nationalism, patriotism was so shown in that light. Anyway, I really saw we are all living in only one earth and one tribe, the human tribe, right? Then it became much more easy to relate to any patient from any background coming to me, and I could see the being in them, and then that's very easily relatable to me. Okay, after that, all the divisions just fell off. Not that you have to work on them, but they just fell off, right? Like a scientist, what do? We discover something, we apply it to all human beings, right? We like that ancient wisdom has some truths. They are universal truths that are important for us and that don't build up unnecessary barriers or divisions within our psyche, right? So that's what modern religions have evolved. There was one statement J. Krishnamurti made that made a lot of sense to me. He said, when the people who were pursuing truth discovered the truth, and they were really working towards it and realized the truth. But then later on, people organized it for their own selfish reasons or whatever, right? And then they don't want to really use it for the purpose it was supposed to be, but then the selfish propaganda, all those things have come. So that is really true. If you want to discover the truth, you got to investigate. You got to be the person who is seeking that, right? So that's much more easy for me to understand. And also, you don't want to influence people just because you said something. So there is this statement: truth as authority, not authority as the truth. So important because modern times people establish themselves in a political or monetary, economic, whatever power they have, and then they dictate to other people, we are telling you this, so this is truth. So I don't want to accept that authority as the truth. No, truth as the authority. If you can show me this is the truth, if I can investigate myself, that's what we do as scientists, right? Somebody shows a thesis and they experiment and they found some value of truth at the end of the experiment. We repeat the experiment, we investigate ourselves, and then we confirm. Then the peer review is done, and we say, okay, this is true. It is not only by one person, but so many other people also prove this, right? That's how we do. And also, when we study science, if we study with that inquisitiveness, with that inquiry of finding out what is true, then what you found, you own it, and then you can remember it, you can execute it, right? So ancients explored these universal truths in a remarkable way that many scientists who are discovering these truths, like a Newton, Einstein, anything, anybody, Tesla, anybody like that, is that they have engaged in this beyond cognitive inquiry with intuition, awareness, and all that, right? It could be a scientific truth, but still they go beyond their chattering mind, beyond that limited mind or cognition. That's what we need to get into, right? We may not do so much of big deals like other people, but whatever the thing that we investigate. For example, I said divisional factors of the religion, investigate it, find out for the truth. You can see it for yourself that it is causing so many killings, so many wars, so many conflicts, right? That's apparent. And then even the racism also like that. Human beings are human beings, but if you discriminate according to the color, see how much destruction we are doing to everybody. America, when they became more tolerant with, the civil rights movement, or blacks accepted, they had much more growth. And but then their innate racism are stroked by some people, and then they're going back to that old-fashioned racism that is there. I don't think they have got over it much, but when they are able to give chances to the other races and all that, see how the country is producing more. Okay, this is what I really arrived at by investigating myself, right? So a person come to my clinic is first seen as a being, is a human being, and everything, all the other filters that we don't want to nurture them. We want to approach that spirit, and then they also feel the affinity and they feel that acceptance because I don't have any division factors. So they feel that I've already accepted them. So they will talk to me, and then I usually strike a very good rapport because I don't have any divisions within me. So I need to work on myself rather than other people, right? Don't claim that somebody is racist, but you don't want to be racist. That's a big deal. So anyway, when I came to this topic of mental health, and as a physician, I see a lot of people that are depressed. That's a fact. And then I see a lot of people that are anxious. That's a fact. Especially COVID time, even now, some of my members in my wellness club in the morning, they have long COVID. And one girl, she was not able to work, she was not able to do her stuff, and they was not able to spend time with her friends because she had this long COVID that is making her very tired and very exhausted, and then she's kind of depressed because of how she was feeling physically. She was going to the physicians, she was taking the whatever they are saying, whatever the vitamins, all those things, but she did not improve. So she came to me. Then I started her on my inner resilience program, which is mainly involves exercise that you could do at your level of energy, and then gradually increasing it. and then deep breathing and understanding the movement of thought and using it appropriately. So it takes some time for people to get into these things. But then, as I designed a program where you come and do it, all these things are embedded in that. Okay, they are kind of inbred, right? So when you do that, automatically you will do a lot of um, these principles that will enhance your inner resilience. Okay, now where the positive psychology, ancient wisdom, or common are, normally psychological field, psychiatric field as a whole, they used to treat what is organically ill. That means people are already deep depressed or anxious, or they have schizophrenia. All those organic illnesses are there. They will have to do that. Hi, Hector. So what I discovered was ancient cultures, ancient they promoted what could be positive within us. Like you could be optimistic, you could be positive, you could be grateful, you could be nurturing other people. All those things are there within us as human beings. Hector is a friend of mine. He is very positive, and he wants to promote relationship where we can all do to get things together. So that's why I like to go to him and then really contribute whatever I can. I hope I will be able to do more, Hector. Okay, but then the spirit, promote positivity, develop collaboration, use our strength as friends and colleagues. We can do that. That promotion of what is could be positive within us, positive psychology has latched on to that. Before, they sort of like they're assessing you, they're questioning you, they're analyzing you, they're telling you, oh, you are born like this, you are brought up like this, you are like this, and all. They're giving a lot of labels to people who don't need them. They are coming there because they have a low mood, low enthusiasm, and no real commitment to anything and all that. To revive that, you got to show them how glorious they are as human beings. So if you can, not the pride, not the ego, but this capacity to be kind, capacity to be loving, capacity to be serving. These kind of positives we can be technologists. We can use the modern scientific discoveries. That's fine, but we don't have to devalue us as human beings, right? That is the reinforcement of positivity that positive psychology picked up uh, to some extent from the ancient wisdom. But when I looked at the ancient wisdom at that angle, they are way, way ahead. So they understood the limitation of the body, limitation of the mind, and potential superpowers that every human being has. Right? So, hi Hector, how are you? Okay. So
then you continue. I just wanted to hear you louder. I'm listening, sir.
yeah, okay, good. So this inner development really comes out as outer productivity. You know, and Anderson and me, we were talking about. We were collaborating on doing a retreat, which normally I do with privately with people, but then we're going to open up to all my friends and whoever following us, whoever wants to join us, where we want to promote this inner wellness, inner resilience. Okay, I'm going to call it more like a harmony of our life, modern life, information age life, with well-being, wellness. Okay, and then it could be spiritual well-being, mental well-being, and physical well-being. This will be I kind of usually do short retreats of online for 2 days in a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, morning till evening. Lectures will be usually 20 minutes, and the various aspects of it. I kind of devised a schedule and all that after I talked to him. So we're going to collaborate, and I would welcome Hector also, because this is our problems in this current information age. I personally get really benefited by adopting AI. I got a lot of my time released but I am psychologically independent enough not to be addicted to any technology. That's a tool for me. I use it. I claim that everybody can do that so that we don't have the side effects of the information age. Because I'm an informatician, my thesis in my master's was information overload. So very early, I started my master's in 2008 and I finished in 2015. I think by the age of 60, I got this master's MBI, right? In that time, I had the opportunity to go and study what is this information overload, why people are suffering this. If it's supposed to be knowledge, it should be without preparation for it. Is like, for example, you are running a marathon where you cannot run even 10 blocks right now, then you will pay for it, right? Like that. So much of information, and also everybody releases whatever they want, and they beam it to us, say that take it. I don't need it. I don't want to see that. But then all the global gossip comes, and everything comes. All in all, they overload your mind, and they really let you suffer of the attention deficit is there, then stress is there, burnout is there. Many of the doctors are burning out mainly because the EMR introduction. So what the EMR introduction did was it can give you a lot of information together, but then they are not using it properly. So they want to dump more and more data on the doctors, which they don't need, right? Before it was like you talk to the patient, examine, and then you determine what you need to do, and then you do. But that delayed a lot of things, right? But now with combining everybody contributes so much data because they are evaluating the patient and all that. So you get to know how to harmonize that. See, I kind of, from the beginning, I'm a yogi, so I kind of know how to handle my mind, right? So that's something I want to bring it to everybody so that they'll understand how do I really use my mind effectively to the best potential that I have and also improve that. Then just getting this continuous chatter, which worries me, which kind of pulls me down. There is a scientific way to understand that how the thoughts are formed, how the thoughts are used, how the thoughts can remain in your subconscious self and become a problem for you down the line. I will give an example, very personal example. My sister, she is now 82 years old, right? But I talk to her every day. This morning also I talked to her, just before my yoga class, I talked to her 15 to 30 minutes. But I discuss with her a lot of spiritual principles, right? Her main thing is she has this continuous memories of old times. They come on. And then if somebody says something, her minds get activated and it doesn't stop. How does that happen is when you spend decades of time thinking all the time and thinking like these are automatically happening, I am kind of just presented these thoughts. What says if you are consciously thinking, that's a skill I teach, right? Then you can learn to dump what is not necessary for you, and also you can really categorize the things that are necessary for you and not be really burdened by it. There's a method you could do that, right? So I was trying to teach her some of that, but this is too late for her because she already formed the neurological pathways by repeatedly thinking one thing in a one way and not be aware of it. Unconsciously, you are thinking the same. That is called cyclical thought. That was there in yoga, and they found out the real reasons for that, how that becomes a real problem for you. So instead of getting caught in that web that you yourself have weaved, like a spider, right? You weave the web and then the spider gets caught in that web. You can understand it, and then not to form the web is the solution. Okay, there's a lot in that, but basically be aware and If you are to think about something, think about it. But right after you are done, wipe it off. That is something people don't know, how to wipe off everything on a daily basis. So I'm going to teach that in this retreat also, so that people can sleep better, can feel better, and they are enjoyed. That's the secret. It's not like without any benefit, because you will be joyful. Like I know when I do these rooms, I am joyful. When I go to Hector's room, I'm talking to him, I'm talking to my friend, and he's involved in some social work and forming a collaborative effort with people. I want to participate with him, and that is joyful to me. I don't have to have any particular result right away, but I'm joyfully participating. See, that's important. So this is possible for everybody in information age. The thing is, there's so much growth of information data coming at you, not only the bits of information, but lot of interruptions. That they come at you, they design them so that you will pay attention to their product and then you will buy it. They have their own intentions of marketing, that's fine. But why do I have to subject to that? If I'm not interested in buying a certain shoe, why do they have to tell me the shoe is good all the time? That kind of thing, right? So emails, for example, I don't do emails on a minute by minute basis. I don't want to be interrupted by them, so I kind of put the notifications on. That's it. But suppose I want to talk to Anderson, we want to talk about retreat. I want to talk to Hector because we are collaborating on and developing that network he's building. I want to pay attention to their emails. So what I want to do, I will pay attention to the emails. But everybody is trying to sell me things, I don't. Suppose I'm working as a doctor at a hospital, or the nurse and the people that are involved that can send me emails, I want to pay attention. So how easy it becomes? I am going to do my job, anything related to that, I will see the emails. But I don't want to do all sorts of emails. So there is a way to be effective in information age by doing some of the disciplined way, which I learned from yoga. Yoga gives you discipline from inside out. So I'm never late at meeting, and also I don't regret somebody prolonging my meeting and all that, because I kind of don't want people to impose on my time, on my whatever I'm doing. I don't want them to disturb. Like usually when I'm on a call with somebody deliberately, that time is kept off so that no interruptions will come to me, on my phone. So these small things we can do, and then we can program ourselves such a way that we are going to be not interrupted by other people. That's a major thing going on, especially kids. They think they are doing the multitasking, and that's why the multitasking is going to help them to accomplish more productivity in shorter time. Actually, that's such a erroneous thing, because you are not paying attention to all of them equally, and you will end up in the crisis when you have to do something in this time. Otherwise you will get punishment or you will lose something like that, right? Instead, you have a purpose, you have a process, you have your own goals, you have your own priorities, and you arrange the day like that. How happy we would be at the end of the day if you do something like that. Okay. But everybody wants to influence, to make you buy something, to accumulate some monies and all that. And so they will do the best they can do to achieve their goal, right? So taking in charge of that kind of emails itself will help you a lot in your mental health. I have a couple of videos coming up on in information age, what are the problems that are really going under the mat? People are not paying attention to that. Because I'm a physician, I'm an informatician, and also a yogi, there's a way where it all crosses each other. Like information is good if you have insights from the information that you take them as wisdom and apply them in your life. Then direct benefit, right? And the other thing is, I am big on wellness. That means you can be well proactively. You don't have to get ill and then fix the things. That's okay. We will do that. If you're nobody can escape some life events. That's okay. But we can be proactive about being well. That means we can watch about what we eat. We can make sure that we are moving and getting enough exercise, understand what is optimal exercise for you, and then we can sleep better, and we can really uh, calm your mind twice a day. There are simple things that you can do, but people don't have the motivation and discipline because everything is crowding on you all the time. So this fast pace may have to be examined, and then there are only certain things that we want to be fast paced, not everything at the expense of our wellness, especially mental illness wellness. If you don't really understand that, actually mental wellness is additive. That means the more you are mentally stable and well, the more deeper it becomes the wellness. So incidents come from outside, you have the resilience to handle that. This is the directive principle I teach in burnout, where it's not about the external stimuli that is making you burn out, but it is a lack of strength within that is making you succumb to that. And that initiates a chemical cascade, and that kind of causes problems with your organs. So, for example, I have different roles, right? Multiple roles that I do. But then there is a commonality among all of that, and that's basically you be your real self, not your body, not your ego, not your personality, not your knowledge. No, none of that. They are all attributes of yourself. But if you can discover your real self and be there all the time, that's a very strongly centered position, right? People talk about self improvement, personality improvement, all of that, but they are all attributes to you. But your real self is something beyond that. That includes these things. But you have body, you have mind, but you are not your body and mind. It's much deeper than that. That's one simple thing. The second thing is once we are in that, you're joyful, you're happy, whatever you do it because you want to do it, you enjoy it. And by enjoying it, you get benefit out of that too. And you go out and help our brethren, our tribe, the human. So in this sense, this information age problems are my duty to point out and also suggest what are the ways I am doing it that are effective. Maybe somebody else is doing something more effective, then we can learn from that. But bringing it to the awareness is my duty as a physician, as a informatician, the one who kind of helps this information going to big data and going to hospitals and all that. And as somebody, as a yogi who is kind of living an integrated lifestyle, right? So it's a much, that's why 2014, from where I had the stroke, I got out within a month. Nobody thought I would be coming out. I told them on the first day itself, no, 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 I will come back because I have a huge practice. I have a huge leadership positions in the hospitals. A lot of people are depending on me for their livelihood, that kind of thing, right? So full plate was there. They thought it's all going to go down and he's going to be bankrupt and all that, which is true with the stroke victims. You know what? 60% of the stroke victims in the country, they go bankrupt within 60 months or 6 months, not 6 months, 6 months, because they end up losing their skills. And then because people don't know how to handle stroke, that's something I'm contributing to the field directly because the way they rehab the stroke patients is totally not enough. They do half an hour physical therapy training, and then rest of the day they allow them to fibros. What I did was I motivated the physiotherapist to make me do more of them, and I was doing them. They had to come and watch it, and then I taught them about so many skills that I was bringing: being in the present, take deep breaths, and also do the micro yoga, whereby I can create my own cortical tissue within me that is dying around. So, okay, it's all because of the knowledge that we had about the stroke management and all that. My personal interest too. Uh, I got out of that and I came back within a month. Of course, I was using the cane to walk and all that. But even then, that's quite a remarkable thing. But for me, it is not. It's all knowledge. We have that. We don't use it. That's all. So it's not I'm kind of super or nothing. It's a question of simply bringing in the knowledge that we have learned into application when a disaster happened to you. So how could I be not be depressed? How could I not be fearful or anxious about future? That's where the resilience. You see, now it makes sense, right? Maybe it's not guaranteed that I would get out of it. You see, I don't know for sure, but then I had no doubt in me that I will try it. That much I'm sure because I'm going to be trying these things. Okay, micro yoga. I started that when I was in the ICU, and then I had no movement on the left side. The visualization of that as though they are moving it itself initiates those neurological things. Second thing is take deep breaths that will arrest any anxiety that you may have and deal with the present. I'm here with my friends, Anderson, Hector, and I'm going to be with them. If they have any questions, I'm going to give complete attention to them. I'm going to be living this moment as the most important. And that is a habit that I made it for several years, right? So I'm always in the present. That means your fears, your anxieties don't wake up because in this moment you don't have anything. Don't imagine something in the future and let the thought take it over, and then you are paralyzed in the present. So people came to visit me in the hospital. They were very sad because, oh, such a dynamic physician who is a member of so many committees. People are looking for all him. Also, what happened to him? Then I told them, don't worry, it will all go away. This is an experience for me. I have to go through it, and then I will learn what I have to learn from this, and then that will be a positive poster. That's exactly what it has become. And from that time onwards, I became more well so that I don't have to take any medications now. And this is the truth about the last 10 years. I did not take any Tylenol also. Why? Because the healing methods of the ancient wisdom that were there, they are not medication dependent. Some people may need them according to the biological, but you can improve your biological picture, molecular biology, by understanding what is real health and wellness. See, the medical field knows these truths, but they cannot employ them because insurance companies, drug companies, all these people are really playing with our health. So I was like this even when I was practicing internal medicine as an allopathic physician and all that. But then I kind of actively try to cut down the medications on my patients, provided they have adopted lifestyle changes I kind of recommended. TLC. Suppose somebody is not knowing anything about diet and then consuming whatever, wherever, according to the taste, then I will show him where the problem is, right? And when I do that, they will be, it depends upon them how much they employ them, the recommendation, and really apply them in their life. Okay, the more they were able to do, the more I was able to cut down the medication. Some people I was able to, in a few, some people have, and very few people completely taken off the medications after they have adopted the lifestyle change that they need. Many of the chronic diseases, but if you have born with a problem, genetic problem, you have resulted in a disease, they are different. But generally, our main problem is we have very poor outcomes for the chronic disease as a country. And a lot of our money is going there, which is really criminal. We need that money for education, for research, for people just to eating, right? Doing ordinary things. Okay, so this is like an awareness how much money we are wasting on allowing these chronic diseases linger like that. What they do is they kind of put them on medication and don't say anything, right? And doctors, many of them are not trained in diet. They are not trained in exercise physiology. They are not trained in any of the ancient wisdom. They simply call it alternate, as though this is superior and everything is alternate. No, the if you take the 19th century physicians, and they said we want to make sure that they don't have to see the physicians. That's our goal. That means we are making them so well that they don't have to come and see us. It has petered down to more like a commercial assembly line thing, like a they come and then you give them a couple of pills and then send them out. That has serious consequences because people have mental health problems, people have performance problems, people have relationship problems. They don't have normal physiology, and they're getting addicted to alcohol, drugs, and all those things, which makes them mentally weak, right? They cannot resist that urge to drink. And in a way, we are punishing our people, even though we know so much knowledge, either modern or you don't have to know anything of ancient wisdom, but just know the good principles of modern health, you will be fine. But this ancient thing is 100 times effective in certain things if you understand. But for example, this thought, mental health problem, there is no doubt about it. The I have tranquil mind, serenity of mind. I have silence I enjoy. I can go out there and then appreciate the nature and be in touch with the beauty of the day. It could be icy in Iowa, you know that how it will be. It could be windy. It could be all snow, beautiful white, or it could be on the summertime. It's all beautiful. We have beautiful lawns and everything. So each season presents so much of beauty for me, irrespective of which season. I don't have any preference. I just enjoy what is. That kind of thing is available to everybody, that abundance of nature. And that kind of absorbing all the senses into the nature's beauty is tremendously healing for you inside. So I devised forest bathing, for example. Burnout doctors, I tell them, okay, you are working with a lot of data right from the beginning, one after one. There's no gap for them to do. Okay, so I tell them in the middle of the day, suppose if you have something of a small garden in the hospital or within the wing of your unit or anywhere where you could have natural life budding, go there. Even if you have one particular part that has flowers that are natural, go there and appreciate that beauty. Allow that to engulf your interior. I call this a modified forest bathing. Real forest bathing is where you really go into number of trees and allow yourself to be absorbed, to listen to the leaves, to listen to the wind, to the bird calls, or you see the greenery that is presented to you, or the changing leaves, or if there is a water, you just to look at the water flow. All those things are there. So in Chicago, I got used to them because they have forest preserves all over. So we can go there and walk. Even in the winter, I used to go there, all dressed in layers. I used to go there and walk. And by the end of the walk, I felt so much better in the middle of it. That's how I overcame the problems with the winter for me, because I lived in India for 20, I think I came here 27 years. I lived in India, in southern part of India, which is very hot, and we used to go up to in May it used to go up to 40 degrees centigrade. That means 115, 116, like that. Of course, body gets acclimatized to that, right? It got acclimatized to that, and then when I came to Chicago, that was a real change, right? First 2 years, I lost my all my energy. I could not take that cold and all. But then going and walking in the forest preserves like that got my resilience back. Now I cannot take the heat of India because I kind of acclimatized to this weather. So I go there only it is summer, not summer, winter. For there, winter is like a 94 or 100 or something like that, and this is pleasant for me, right? So I go there at the time. Later, I have not been there, but when I went there, I was there. But right now, all the communication has improved. So I talk to them. I see my sister and talk to her on the iPad, this morning also. So I kind of don't have to go there physically. I don't get the time, and it's very expensive also. But then my mom came here, stayed with us, and she passed away here at 88. When she was living there, I used to go there. But after I brought her here, she lived with us at the end of her life. Anyway, enough about the personal things. But what I am saying is, you got to really understand a lot of truths about your body, your natural rhythms, and your mental rhythms, and your circle of thought, how it can get cyclical and a problem, but you can make it conscious thought and be in silence and use the thought. That's the style I teach. Do you try to be silent? People say, "Oh, I meditate." Yeah, but then you do that in the morning and in the evening, it has a tremendous benefit. Okay. I also started doing meditation like that, but then I discovered you don't have to meditate if you are using conscious thought. That means the brain mechanism that is going on operating all the time, and if you don't know how to watch it, how to really be there where from where these thoughts are coming, then you have to meditate. But if you are there where is the silence to begin with, out of the silence thoughts happen, and so you are in the serenity, so you don't have to deliberately sit down and meditate. That's what it is. When I was talking to Anderson, for example, this morning, I told him that I come from silence and then express all these feelings. But I'm always in touch with that silent state of ours. You know what? It is there with everybody. It's a question of knowing about it, understanding it, and deliberately really staying away from the chatter of the mind. That's not like it is by willpower, but it is by the habit. If you cultivate, I will give a very simple clue that you are all familiar with. When you get up in the morning, whether you are drunk or whether you are sober, and then you have seen movies, you have late night, whatever, right? Or you have went to bed very early and you get up in the morning. The very first thing is you wake up and you are aware that you are awake. You are not having any thought about that. And then immediately you allow your thought stream to come. That is the spider web that I'm talking about. Immediately it goes from one thought to other thought with mercurial speed. Oh, I got this meeting with my friend. I have to do that, this. And then if you allow that, it will go on weaving that network of thought. Don't do that. Delay that. Be aware first and stay in that awareness and delay the onset of stream of thought at least for a few seconds. But later on, it becomes few minutes. And what do you do in that time? Be in life. Be in touch with what is life around you. Look at outside and appreciate what don't say this should be like this. If it is icy, windy, snowy, or bright sunlight, or cloudy weather, whatever it is, don't comment that. Just see, am I in touch with what is going on? Am I in touch with the plants around me? The dogs, the cats, the sparrows, or live human beings? Don't think about their image, but just be aware of the life around you. How many people do that? And the more you are in touch with the life, the more you delay that stream of thought, but that could be conscious thought. You want to think about what you want to do, you want to think about what you want to receive, all those things. Okay? That's a very simple thing that anybody can do. So, in my yoga class, that's the first thing I tell them. Okay, you are going to spend this hour in awareness, not in thought, not in memory, not in imagination, not in what is I have to do and all that, but what is it there in front of me? What is Dr. Rao is doing? What is he asking me to do? Be here and now. And I say, take deep breaths. And then be aware of the stretches, their effect on your body. And do that for the entire hour. They may not be able to do. Maybe they will do first few minutes and then they will get lost in their thought. But then my reminder comes, be here and now, and then they come back to the present. So how I cultivated this also is something you could examine yourself. I used to put a picture on my watch and also on my iPhone. AIP. That's the question. Am I in the present? AIP. The moment I see that visual cue, I used to come back to the present. And slowly it became habit for me. And then it became the truth. Actually, life is this moment, here and now. Whatever I said before this, that's already gone. Whatever I'm going to say, that's not yet come. But here, how much are you in touch? But we allow your mind to assess and go on, so then you have not listened to what it is. It is not that you have to accept what you will listen. It is the act of listening. How much resistance you don't have to listen to anything. And that you should employ when I ask you to spend time with your nature. So I ask my staff, do this mantra every day. That mantra is attention to every action. You take this, whatever you are doing, am I giving full attention to that? That is the mantra. It's not a Sanskrit or anything. It's just an act of doing with full attention here and now. That's what I brought to my stroke recovery. That did wonderful. Because if I am thinking about the future and anxious about it, it has the relevant chemical composition that is initiated by my movement of that anxious thought in my body from the brain. That is the effect of the thought on your body. Because I understand that movement of thought and I would allow that movement to go on, but I want to pay attention to what is happening here, I don't have the burden of stress hormones. The same with the back also, negativity, depression, oh, I should have done that, all those things, right? Uh, if you don't have that movement of either to the back or to the front, then you can manage very healthy milieu of biological chemistry within you. This is the psychosomatic medicine at the end. So what happens is with yoga, you understand that movement of thought and you say, okay, instead of creating something with my movement of thought, I will relax and then I will let situation tell me what's going on. And then with intelligence, I will act, I'll respond to what is happening. Anyway, any questions, Anderson? Hector, I'm going on talking about things. Any questions?
I'll let Hector go first.
Yeah.
Okay, Hector might be busy. No questions from me, Dr. Rao. I'm just quite amazed by the breadth of information which I'm receiving right now. So I'm really, really grateful to you. Actually, the question that comes up for me is with so much distraction today in this current world, how is it possible or is it possible for us to live a connected life where we're not multitasking, where we're just fully present and adopting all of these techniques that you're talking about, both the Eastern and the Western practices, bringing them together into balance and into the fruition of our life.
Yeah.
Is there such a state that we can get to, or is that just an imaginary?
Yeah, some of the limitations we impose ourselves are, like, for example, for me, this is not Eastern knowledge or Western knowledge. It is the human experience that might have had differences. So why I'm, kind of labeling them something different from me, something alternate, is all knowledge in the sense of human experience and wisdom derived from our human. Like, for example, you have fire, and if you put hand over it, it will burn, right? That's a universal thing. But we don't make big deal out of it. But suppose somebody, some other country comes and says that, and you say, that's not so, you don't know anything. That is really not being wise, right? So that's what we do. There is so much exploration into our inner human being by the ancients. I think that's a sad thing. That's a really unfortunate that we don't take use of that. My life is a testimonial to that. I could very well be like a allopathy physician that is prejudiced and then say, oh, I have the money, I have the power, I have to I say, everybody regards me as a doctor. When I go to the place and they all look at my judgment, because we display that, right? Each person, surgeon displays that, like I display with a resolution of the medical problems. That will be there. But then, if you regard that as the truth and the authority as the truth, but not really going after the truth by yourself, then you won't understand all these things. Then you're always following somebody saying this, somebody saying that, and all that. But what about you? What is important for you? What is really makes sense for you? Have you really done enough research on that? If you take an attitude like that, instead of being like in the United States, we don't have to be particular nationality, or we don't have to give up particular national affection, whatever you have, but you don't have to develop these barriers to other people. Our own inclinations, our own conclusions, judgments, cognitive, all these things are our own barriers to really employ this essential truths, knowledge into our lives. So first be a citizen of the world. First be a human being, and then be an excellent human being, and you won't have the problems. Actually, I do so much more from the morning. I get up at 3 to 4 o'clock. I usually get up, and then by 9 o'clock, I have done so much. I don't have to do the rest of the day. That's the magic of really being attentive to everything that you do. It's not a tall thing. It's not an extraordinary thing. Anybody can do it. But the thing is, you have to work on your attention. You have to work on your quality of whatever you do. And the more you improve it, the more time you save. But you're going after all sorts of attractions. You have no control over your mind and emotions. And you say, oh, I'm a human being. That's the kind of not true. Human beings can do a lot about working on the perceived inhibitions or perceived weaknesses. They always say the explanation, oh, I'm only being a human, being egotistical, being angry, being violent, whatever. Right? They say, oh, I'm just being a human being. That is wrong. The yoga looks at the inner resilience, the capacity that you can develop inside is really possible for you. And then you don't say, I'm a human being that I can justify these weaknesses. Because I'm a human being, I can overcome those human weaknesses and then really live better. I will tell you an example. One person, he doesn't believe any of the spiritual stuff and anything outside of him or supernatural, nothing he doesn't believe. He says, I only see an orange. For me, right now, I can squeeze the orange and I can enjoy this. That means whatever the life offers, I can enjoy it, and that's it, right? Many of the people live like that. They say, oh, I want to experience eating all sorts of food. I want to experience, go and visit a lot of places. I want to experience a lot of relationship, or whatever. They just want to enjoy life as it is now. But the person who have really investigated into your human psyche, human interior, he would say, I also want to do it, but as a life, as a feeling of that life force, I know I'm going to be here forever. So I'm not in a hurry to do that. I will do it with a lot of joy and enjoyment. And I'm not afraid because I'm not going to die. So I don't have that feeling of death and all that. So I squeeze this orange, I squeeze the life in the sense, but I take 1,000 times more out of squeezing the same orange, same life. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that is what we are talking about here. Inner resilience. How can we dig out a lot of that we already have? But if you are really, um, going after things that are temporary, that are no big deal, but they are missing out on the larger picture, then all these things come out. That's the problem with the Western lifestyle. What they promote, what they encourage is very silly small things that are external. That's not big deal in the long run. For example, people make a lot of money, my friends, right, doctors, and they find there's no meaning after a certain time. And then also they are afraid that they may lose that money. So they are kind of psychologically dependent on that. And then they play all sorts of things with their family, with playing with the law, so many things, right? So if you realize, okay, some money, some livelihood, and some pleasures and all innocent pleasures, they're okay. But then human life has something more than that to offer. If you don't know how to do that, you don't know how to squeeze orange 1,000 times. That is what modern life is promoting, not in one country, but all over. Whereas ancients kind of wanted that life to be simple, outward simple life, and inward higher thinking. That's where they explored a lot more. That's why I have the highest respect for these people who have explored inwardly. And see, there is an arrogance among the modern scientists and modern intellectuals, like they know everything, but they are so ignorant of this other part of it. Once they realize that, then they appreciate that. Many of the intellectuals I talk to, IT people I talk to, are discoverers, are people who have created. They think they are creative, but they don't really produce anything by themselves. That is real creation. They only discover. That's already there. Even Einstein said that. I only discovered things that were there. So what's the big deal? I'm not the one who created it. Real creation is comes out of that. So modern people are doing injustice to rest of the tribe by acting egotistically, acting like a superior class of people, and they know everything, nobody else do know everything. So they kind of live in that foolishness. But if they take their own life, ask them, is your mind silent? Oh, no, what is that? They would say, do you know there is a unalloyed joy from within any human being can do without anything? They don't know that. The ancients discovered that. I think it is my fortune I was introduced to that and I caught a hold of that. So that's what I'm trying to share with you guys. That's all. Lots of time I get this. Oh, my mind is blown. All these things and all. No, don't feel like that. It's a kind of somebody else's thing that you want to go and check it out whether it is true or not. I have no agenda because that is one thing ancient wisdom showed me. You will by realizing your true self, you are so joyful, serene. You don't want anything else. You see? So I don't have to run after the money, run after the fame, none of that. They seem very simple, silly. But that doesn't mean that everybody has to follow that. Okay? But they had this standard. This in Sanskrit, I will tell you, Atma Mokshardham Jagat Hitayacha. The first part is Atma, inner self, Moksha, to find your freedom from your mind into your soul. That is the real purpose of human life. And then Jagat Hitaya. Jagat means world. Then you go and work for the welfare of the world. So you don't have to expect anything from in that part. So that is their goal. So not everybody did that. Like a scientist, not everybody is scientist, but some people take up that work and they do, and they produce those truths for us to really get benefited from that. See, self-realization like this one was a big deal. Only a Buddha, only a Christ, only some people like that, they achieved that. But nowadays, it is made so understandable and practicable, we can do it ourselves, provided if you are interested and if you are psychologically independent of all these temptations, then you go. But I have students who came to me, but they have no idea of this. They just want a good life with money. At the same time, they want a deep understanding of these things. It doesn't happen. You got to have this uh, more like a vairagya, we call it. That is dispassion from the silly worldly pleasures. But that is up to individual choice, right? They may go over it, they may experience whatever, and afterwards they say, "What's the big deal? Is it okay?" Like a movies, we see one movie after a while, we enjoy it a lot. But if you move 10 movies, then you feel like I don't want to see movies another month. So Somerset mom said this. Pleasure is that if you stare at pleasure for too long, it will no longer be pleasure. This is what exactly he said, and that's so true. And the ancient lived that truth very quickly. So they were able to get deeper into themselves and discover this beautiful space that everybody has. That's what I look at, Anderson. I look at you, I look at Hector, or anybody else. I want to relate to that. Apart from your qualities and all that. It's not that I don't appreciate that, but it doesn't mean you are the other way. Suppose you are not a somebody who has some talent, it's still a being for me. Suppose you are an evil person inside, still you are a being, but you are going in the wrong way. You see what I mean? Now ask me anything that you want from whatever we talked about, anything that you want clarification or your experience or your own way of looking at these things, anything.
I was talking and I realized that I was on mute. I guess I guess we can have all the technology that we want, but even if we can't use it the right way,
Yeah.
we're still kind of struggling. What are you seeing as some of the? Because now I'm hearing the AI is everywhere.
Mhm.
What are you seeing as some of the
Yeah.
use
The
cases?
same
Some
technology.
of the safe use cases of
Yeah.
AI that doesn't put a lot of us at risk.
Case in point, my own case, right? This artificial intelligence, chat GPT, writing my blogs, writing my posts, writing my books and courses and all that, they so many things I wanted to do, I'm doing that in a jiffy, right? So I have more time to enjoy myself spiritually, engage in self-inquiry, go deeper, stay quiet, and be in that what we call uh, ecstasy of the quietness that we enjoy, ecstasy of the nature, ecstasy of the human relationship. And just say, like, whoever I talk to rather deeply, they become my permanent friend, right? So technology, I mean, there are so many people who have worked on this for a purpose, right? Understand that. But where the problem comes is, then you don't want to grow yourself as a human being, but use this technology to for the real simple, non-consequential, and real things in life, right? That's why your human relationship is going down, and your contact with other human beings is going down, and your contribution to the revival of the planet is going down. So all those things are there. So, but for me, the biggest thing is, I want to do the things I want to do. I do them pretty quickly. And now I can relate to anybody in the world by coming onto the social media. Whether they come here or not, it depends upon how much I want to distribute this. And I just come and talk because I just want to make it a habit. So whoever comes here, they can listen. But I don't promote myself and all that, right? But it's a potential. I can reach anybody in the world, right? And somebody may catch this and may listen to it, and that may be in Japan. I have people call me from Japan, from UK, from Australia, from India, obviously, and Sri Lanka and Singapore. So many venues, especially COVID time, Anderson, I was able to go to so many farms and then universities where I was able to talk to them, all that. So all happened spontaneously, and I was happy to do that. And I don't remember them afterwards; they're done. But what I'm saying is, the communications that have developed around the world is a good thing. I know some of the social media people are using it wrongly. That's the bad part of it. But suppose I want to talk to entire world, the the platform is there. That's a big, big important thing. If you promote, you know, our uh, camaraderie, if we promote friendship, if we promote nurturing on the online. I have done a lot of work in the COVID. Staying here, especially second wave of India, was devastating. People didn't know how to deal with death. People didn't know how to deal with loss of income, and people didn't know how to live closely with their own family because they were always escaping into the work. Now it is not there. They have to face them, and they have to really develop good relations. But then a lot of wife beating, a lot of anxiety has grown in the COVID. So they don't know how to be alone. Say many people are lonely, but they don't know the virtues of being alone. You know, so you don't like your own company, then you become very lonely. You feel like, oh, somebody should come and. But if you know yourself, and that's beautiful, then you will not be regretting being alone, right? I'm not saying lonely where you feel I'm cut off from the world, to just being alone and enjoying that serenity within yourself. I did a small video on this. It's like being silent with yourself for 3 minutes, and then they can follow the. You can check it out, understand if you are interested, and then you can listen to that and do that. Come stillness of the mind for about 3 minutes, and that becomes a habit. You start to enjoy yourself a little bit better. But basically, what is happening is, though people don't know what are the things that are happening because of this random use of data, random use of bad data, and then in as much I have good intentions, I want to spread to all over the world, the same power goes to the rogue people. Say the Russia and China, all these people, what they are doing right now is they are trying to influence people their way. So there's a misinformation, there is a false information, there is a negative information, and there is a lot of damage done that way, right? That is also happening to people. So, but many people don't understand what is the proper use of this information, where it can take you astride. So that's what we want to contribute with this. Actually, I come up with a title for our retreat, Anderson. Do you think I should announce it here?
I think it'll be interesting to get Hector's feedback on it, because why build anything in a vacuum, right? I think we should why not go for it?
Yeah. Now I'm going to call that as harmony of information age with wellness.
I like that. I like harmony in anything, but harmony of information age with wellness.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's what I came up with. So we're going to.
I love it. You're very creative. I wonder what Hector's thoughts are. I know you're away from your phone, Hector, but I wonder what your thoughts are on this name when you get back close to your phone. But yeah, Dr. Rao, I approve anything that has harmony in it. It sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all. I'm not saying we should abandon the information age and its benefits, but be aware of what it can go, how it can be, problem for us, not just for us only, but everybody. And as it is, we have so many problems with our planet and all that, because we are doing a lot of stuff to the planet. And this could accelerate it, or it could provide solutions to reverse the planetary ecological damage that we are doing. See, that's why I come and talk, because I feel like it's my duty to say what I think it should be focused on. Whether anybody does it or not is not my problem. Did I get up and speak about it? That's all. The way I was thinking, like most of the effective, retreats I did before and all that, if you go on giving them a lot of information, like I did today with a couple of, maybe 1.5 hours now, people may not get it. But fortunately, this is recorded, so they can go back to it and then, break it down and listen to it. That's why I always leave it recorded, replace on. But generally, if you do 20-minute segments, especially medical conference, that's what I like to conduct on, because most of the time I do them that way, then it will be absorbed better. And also advertise what they could expect on that retreat prior to the coming there. And people may have curiosity, may have aroused that. And probably I'll ask people like Hector and Anderson, other friends I have, to help me to approve my design, my way of doing it. My main thing is come and share what I know. That's what I will be focusing on. But before and after, I kind of use our information age to help us spread it around and make it much more easy, make it maybe some brochures, some other things. For example, I was going to teach you all what's called head to toe yoga in 5 minutes, right? And that you can do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening, and you will be perfectly in functional exercise mode all day. But it only takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes if you do it slow. But if you do it properly, it'll be done in 5 minutes. And another thing is, one of the best aerobic exercises I know is called sun salutation, Surya Namaskars, sun salutations, right? And that has got I think 14 or 16 moves there. And you can do one sun salutation in 1 minute. And that will be there. I'm going to introduce people to that. But if they want to understand more, if they want to learn, and that will be easy for them. But they have to consult me if they have individual problems, and that way we can show them what is the best way to learn and all that. Once I get at this project, yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask you whether it's possible to bring in some of those principles of Ayurveda into the retreat that way.
Yeah, there's a section for that, because the section is on what is Ayurveda mean, what are the main principles in a nutshell, and then how you can use that knowledge in your diet, in your lifestyles, and so that even information overload is helped by Ayurveda principles.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's a comprehensive retreat, introduction to a lot of things, but then it depends upon them. So it's going to be, the way I used to do is like a 9 to 4, but each hour like a 20-minute segment. And then after every 3 or 4, there's a break for a few minutes. And then there's a 45 minutes lunch. This was successful for me. So we can change it. There's nothing fixed in that. But once you understand that, once you really, so each topic is kind of, briefly presented so they understand. Because suppose a retreat for understanding what is information age, what is this wellness he's talking about, why we are losing on wellness when we are going ahead with information age, and how can we bring both of them, which are good for both of them are good for us, but we have to have harmony, not one-sided complete information age and paying price for it. This was actually, the topic was planned as a retreat before, but then I called it more like a how can we fuse ancient wisdom and modern medicine for our wellness and all that. But now, the more topics I'm doing on the information age related mal disorders, like malorders, that's what I wanted to focus on, because that's current, that's important for us. We want to adopt AI, but at the same time protect us from getting ill from this. So it's a purely a physician point of view that I have developed this,
As you're talking, I just had a fantastic idea. I think that when you bring in the practical aspects of these two things coming together, the ancient wisdom and positive, or some way positive psychology, I'm going to bucket in modern technology into that.
Yeah, definitely.
Then what you start realizing is that, well, from the modern technology, and you've been in the industry, so you know the power of wearables.
Yeah,
most people now have an Apple Watch.
There is a section called personalized medicine, in that all the wearables, because I wear the Apple Watch, right? Yes, definitely what you said was very important. Yeah, definitely understand, because
there you go.
Yeah, because apps and wearables, they're important for people to start at least, and then they can, various degrees of dependencies are there. Some people are completely independent of them. Some people can use them. But some people are really doing too much on that, too much at the cost of losing our inner ability, you know.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was this, and I agree with you 100%. And
Yeah.
I fully respect the level of expertise that you're coming at.
Yeah.
My perspective on this topic,
yeah,
is when you bring in some of the practical aspects, like people might think, oh, the technology is so far-fetched, but they might not realize that they are actually using some of this technology
already.
Right
yeah.
Apple Watch,
Alexa, Siri,
right?
yeah,
yeah. Right. Or during the pandemic, I know a lot of people who adopted telehealth and telemedicine. They were able to Zoom. It was probably not Zoom. It was probably some other HIPAA compliant technology that allowed them to Zoom into.
No, I totally agree, Anderson. In as much as we show the problems that may be coming up, we should also show the strengths that we have with the devices and all that, you know. Actually, I'm in the middle of developing an app for wellness, you know, but the people I talk to, they are not really able to understand fully. So I'm really looking out for somebody who will understand what I'm talking about. And then they go from there. They are looking at the point of, oh, this much money will be made, that much money will be made, and all that, you know. But they don't have any understanding of what it is. Yeah, how to put the money, how to, that's okay. That's the business side of it. But you got to understand the spirit and understand what we want to say, and then you have technical excellence, you can do a good job, right? That's what I was saying.
I fully agree, and I think that there is something that's usually missed when you bring in an external force. Hey, Jacob, welcome.
Hi, Jacob.
I think there is something that typically is missed when you bring in an external force into an idea which you have conceived, because that external force has a way of influencing that idea. Which actually, is exactly why I decided to, when I started my business, have not let any investors in just yet, because I think there is a place for that. And there is a place for just letting pure passion, pure love dictate what the future of your product is going to be. And I'm at that stage right now, which is really beautiful. Yeah, of course, I could use the money, but do I actually need it? Absolutely not. I think that there is a way by which we can build amazing, sustainable solutions for the future by bringing together these two things, the ancient wisdom and
actually there is a deeper topic.
I talked about the two there, which is like wearable technology, AI. We talked about telehealth.
Definitely.
But on the flip side, when you talk about the ancient wisdom, I think of things like Ayurveda or traditional Chinese medicine. You talked about yoga. I certainly think it's 2024 is the year where we should mainstream these, not just these two things individually, but these two things coming together.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's where the magic happens.
I was actually doing something called science and spirituality, a broader subject, you know. We will talk about it later, you know, but then that's also there. But this is practical because I see the apps and websites and everything that people are using, and also they're growing crazy on the so many innovations and creations in the AI. So only some of them are going to survive, but then uncertainty about AGI is there. So there's tremendous underlying anxiety among the creators, among the scientists, among the, you know, all the people that are really working on this technology. So I keep up some of that with, you know, following some thought leaders in the field. But many of them are caught by their own pace. So we don't know really what's going to be created and how many things are going to be good and how many things are going to be dominating us. We don't know. So we will have to wait and see. But meanwhile, how can you be human being and how can you use this technology for your own good and other people's good? And how can you protect yourself from the excesses of this technology? That's my focus, you know. Jacob, I talked about a lot of things today. I think you should listen to the replay. Okay.
Absolutely. Sorry I missed it. I just reviewed a 3-hour room that I did earlier, and it was beautiful.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I just finished, and I'm like, oh my God, 8:13. I'm like, I'm an hour late for Dr. Rao's like 1 hour room. Thank you for still being open.
I started at 5:45 today, so it's almost 1 hour 30 minutes now. Since I'm looking at the SteamYard stream, that's what it says. So,
I was destined to make it. I made it.
No, you can go on. I know your interest. That's why I'm mentioning you especially. You don't want to miss today because I brought in some a retreat I'm planning with Anderson. We are trying to collaborate, and then we will do that. To probably April. Actually, I had to set up something similar to this in May. But then after I talked to Anderson, we want to do it in April, But meanwhile, I will give some of the uh, things we are thinking about, like, personalized medicine is something that's already there. Anderson can take over those devices, all the help with the modern technology that people can employ for their wellness is a very important topic too. So we're going to collaborate, and more discussion will be just started today. So, but I already have some designs for some of these things, which I do with individual people. They come and they want to understand where I'm going with this, what's going on with me, and I'm stressed and I'm putting so much money in this. This app is not working. Those kind of friends, some of them, they talk to me, and I talk to them.
Doctor,
yeah.
I love that we're having this conversation. And Jacob, I really wish that you were here earlier, because I think your input would have been incredible on this. Everything today, everything period, is design.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, there's technology and all of that, but like the technology itself is design. And if you really get down to the nitty-gritty and understand the process of design, all of design is problem solving, right? And so when someone tells you that what your vision of the future is not possible, I don't think that they're dreaming big enough. Dr. Rao,
especially
you need to surround yourself with bigger dreamers, because everything today is possible.
I don't think even I dream. I don't think even I dream. I kind of know the side effects that I see. People are depression, anxiety, attention deficit, all those things. I'm seeing them with my own eyes, and then people reach out for those problems. So that's it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I and we can apply that same concept. I'm talking about designing of technology, but we can apply the same concept with designing of lifestyle.
Sure.
Because lifestyle can be designed to be healthy.
Remember, I live in the present. So I don't dream. I just do things like, yeah. Anyway, it's wonderful to talk to you, Anderson. Hector was silent. Was he listening, or what do you think, Hector? Of this? Tell me something.
Let us feel that spirit, Hector. But it's okay. Even the spirit of silence is a wise one.
Yeah. Maybe he's busy with something, probably. But he stayed on for a long time today, so that's good. And then there are a lot of people, my friends, waiting on Wisdom app. There are 14 people. Angela, Andrin Pool, Dave Mason, so many people are there. So if any of you want to come up before I close the room, please come up and tell me what you think about what we talked about. And I would look to collaboration with many of you so that we can make that dream of harmony of information age with wellness. So not a dream, just a thought, and we can develop on that. All right, I will be closing this now. If nobody has any questions or any comments. So. Okay, Anderson, we will see you again, Jacob,
yes, sir.
Hector. So we'll see you again tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Bye, friends. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Take care now. Cheers, guys.
Bye.